Okay, everyone, we're going to go over the effects of opening up trade here. Here we're going to show, they opened up trade in the donut industry here, and the world price is actually going to be higher than our domestic price. All right, so remember our donut market. This is in dozens of donuts. We said $1 was at least what these suppliers of donuts needed to make a profit. This was like the lowest cost producers here. All right, so anything above that is profit for them. And our supply curve goes up as they get more for these donuts. Well, there's going to be more, donut supplied as a result of that. All right. On the demand side, we said once you go above $6, nobody will demand donuts. As that decreases, you'll see more and more people demanding donuts. Here's our demand curve. Without trade, the equilibrium price was $4, and the quantity was 300. Okay. Now we're going to open up trade. When you open up trade, the world price is $5. All right. Well, who's this going to help? Well, this is going to help the producers here, the people that are supplying donuts. They're going to get a higher price for donuts. As a result of that, due to this higher price, more donut suppliers are willing to produce donuts now. So the quantity supplied now is going to be at 400. What about quantity demanded domestically? Well, that's going to decrease. Okay. Now it's only going to be 150. Well, what do they do with this difference here? At this price, these suppliers are willing to produce 400 units. Domestically, demand here is only 150. Well, this difference here, this surplus of donuts here domestically is going to be exported out of the country, trade on the world market. So these exports, it's just 400 minus 150 equals 250. So they're going to export out 250 dozen donuts. All right. Now let's look at our consumer surplus after trade and our producer surplus after trade. All right. Well, remember we use our formula here, 1/2 times base. Our base now is just 150. Here we're looking at domestic consumer surplus. It's just this little section right here. Right. With this higher price, not many is willing to pay for it. And so as a result of that, this is only going to be 150 for the base. What about the height? Well, it's just 6 minus 5. So that's $1. $1 times 150 is $150 times 1/2. $75 for the consumer surplus after trade. What about the producer surplus after trade? All right. Here, these producers, these suppliers, they're benefiting from this higher price now. Right, so they're supplying more. They're supplying from 0 to 400. So the base here is going to be 400. What about the height? Well, it's anything above this. This is what their cost here, what they're willing to supply it for, and they're actually getting $5. So it's 5 minus 1 here, for $4. $4 times 400 is $1,600 times 1/2 will be $800. So you see the producer surplus has really increased a lot. Okay. What about the total surplus? We'll just add these two together. Consumer surplus was $75. Producer surplus was $800. So $875. Remember previously, when there's no trade, just looking at the producer and consumer surplus totaled out to be $750. Now this is before trade. So you have an increase. Can you hardly read that? Total surplus before trade, we said was $750. So it's a total increase here of $125. All right, where's that coming from? Well, it's coming from this little area right here. All right, this is the increase in surplus here. And this is why it's beneficial for trade to open it up here. Right? You know, it's because overall you're going to have a higher increase in your surplus as a result of this. Right now, as you can see, though, the producers are really being helped here, which means the workers are going to benefit as well for these donut industry. But the consumers are being hurt here. Okay. But overall, you're going to see an increase in your surplus here because the producers are being helped. Now, if this was the opposite and the price was lower, well, then the consumers would be benefiting and the producers locally would be hurt. You kind of would reverse here. Right? But here we're looking at it like when the world price is higher than the domestic price here. The producers benefit, the consumers are hurt, but the producers benefit more, the consumers are hurt. So your overall surplus is going to increase as a result of that. All right, I hope this was helpful.